Plaintiff Luz Korakosian says after her 9-year-old son passed away, she became addicted to heroin for 10 years. Luz claims she's been clean for 30 years, but she's suing her friend for an unpaid loan. Defendant Carolyn Oliver says she too had a hard life and self-medicated to get by, but she's now on the straight and narrow. Carolyn denies owing Luz for anything.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
First of all, Your Honor, my son died before his 10th birthday. I was introduced to a heroin by my sister, and I was in there for a while. But I've been clean out of heroin for 30 years.
Oh, beautiful.
And some. I might don't have the jugular veins that everybody have, but I can breathe by the grace of God.
How long were you on heroin?
10 years.
Okay. And that was after you lost your son?
That was
traumatized by that, no doubt. And so that's what you sought to self-medicate, as they call it?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a lot of trauma to deal with. And how did
after
your son pass?
After that, it was other addictions. You know, it wasn't just that. It was, then there came the cocaine. I don't have the middle of my nose because I snort cocaine that much in Miami. Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't have the capacity of everybody's lungs, but my Lord Jesus has cleared me from every disease. I was not supposed to be here 6 years ago. They gave me 2 years to live.
What type? Well, I don't need to know.
Hepatitis C, because everything I was self-medicating,
yeah, sure.
And I thought it was the drugs, and it turned out to be it wasn't. It was the self-medication over the counters.
Correct.
On top of everything. And they gave me 2 years to live. And I wanted to make a mark in my life. And I got married with a Lebanese man. That's where my name comes from. And I was reborn into a new life. Here I am. You know, I lost my kid, and after I lost my kid, I lost my other 2 kids to the world.
Okay.
And I lived out to them. In the meantime, I raised 13 after that.
13
children.
Whose children were they?
The world.
Okay.
Good. And I stopped that and went to make a research center for Hispanics in Columbus, Georgia. But because of my past, the system would not allow me.
Who?
The system would not allow me.
How so? Give me an example.
An example, I got out of the program, 12-step. I'm excited. Ooh, I'm going to make it happen. And I went to work in the tax office, and the lady knew more about the law than I did. And she told me, oh, you got to be a public notary. Let's do it. I'm a convicted felon. They didn't say that part. And they gave me a stamp.
How many times have you been convicted? More than once or twice?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because I was going to talk about the expungement, but in most states, they won't expunge more than
I'm already
one,
being sponged.
sometimes 2.
I pray to God that through this, some other people don't have to deal with the walls I have to deal with.
Okay.
All those walls are coming down, Judge Mathis. I'm seeing it happening. Good. You know, the 12-step are really working. The kids are being able to speak about mental health and being able to speak. It is amazing. I came off 37 pills. I attempted for my life. I was tied up in a bed for 2 weeks. I was not supposed to be here. My grandmother was praying when I came back. And the doctor told her, don't attach yourself because we don't know what's coming back. She will not remember who she is. But I am Luz Migdalia to testify the 12-step program works if you work it.
Thank you. Thank you. And you're saying exactly what I say every time. Either a recovering addict, I reinforce and let them tell the people, or a drug addict, or someone who had gotten treatment 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months, that after that treatment, the number one way to stay clean is NA. And you're a perfect example, and you're reiterating that fact
Yes.
that it works.
It works if you work it.
If you work it. There
Got
you
it
go.
working now.
Right.
Ain't gonna be given
And
to you.
What I'm also hearing, and I want people to know, that it's right alongside your faith and your march.
If you don't have
with
your
God.
faith, you
They're
don't
not
have it.
separate. They're right alongside. So even if you are a reformed Christian or person of faith, whether it's Islam, Judaism, Christianity, Buddhism, whatever the case, even if you are reformed and you think that that is strength enough, the fact that you feel protected and strengthened by your faith, you still need that NA.
Oh, yeah.
So you need them both, because
Yes.
there's people who think I'm protected because Lord Jesus Christ strengthens me.
No.
Well, you have a relapse.
No, of course.
Unless you know the coping skills. See, NA teaches you how to cope with the addiction that you're fighting.
Correct. Every day.
Your faith strengthens you in that attempt to cope.
Correct.
So I'm just glad you brought all this out today. The fact that you feel protected and strengthened by your faith, you still need that NA.
Oh, yeah.
So you need them both, because
Yes.
there's people who think I'm protected because Lord Jesus Christ strengthens me.
No.
Well, you have a relapse.
No, of course.
Unless you know the coping skills. See, NA teaches you how to cope. Your faith strengthens you.
Defendant Carolyn Oliver is being sued by her friend, who claims she became a heroin addict after her 9-year-old son passed away.
You tell me what you have to say. Your name is heroin, isn't it?
Terribly.
Isn't that what you say your name is?
No, my name's Carolyn.
Oh, Carolyn. Oh, okay. I thought you had used so much heroin they changed your name to it. I'm sorry, man. I don't be.
I've never done heroin now. I smoked weed back in the day, but I never done heroin.
Okay, good. All right. And give me some background on yourself.
Well, I had a hard life as well growing up and self-medicated myself. Basically, everything that she...
Did you have any tragedies, or it was started out as recreational?
No, I had things that happened in my life.
Tragedy, and you
Yes.
tried to address it. What
Yeah.
they call folks self-medicating. When people go to drugs, they try and block out the things that the tragedies
Exactly.
in their life. Okay, same thing happened
Yeah.
to you. How did you recover?
I had people helping me.
Well, that's an NA group. Hopefully, you had a couple.
I had
dope
people
fiends in the
helping me,
group.
and I had people.
Hopefully
My
a couple of those
grandmother was
people were dope
praying.
fiends. Were they family members or something?
They were friends of the family and family members.
How many?
They was about 5 or 6 of them.
Oh yeah, you had a dope fiend helping you.
Yeah.
If you count 6 people, one of them's a dope fiend. I promise you.
Might have been. I didn't know.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we got 2 dope fiends in here now. You might have 2, 1.5. We got 1 heavy user and 1 just getting started. 1.5. Who is it? Whoever's just getting started, I want you to stop it
Right here.
Right now.
It's not worth it.
right now.
Talk to us
Let me
first.
take a good look. See who this is out here. She keep laughing like she high.
Yeah.
That's Cottery.
He's nodding off.
Yeah, he's nodding out.
Yeah.
All right, so there go my 1.5. It's right up there. Whatever you got us gathering of 6, folks. Somebody's alcoholic or drug addict. This is your country. This is what has happened. This is what you all have allowed to happen. The leaders and the governors of this country.
Yeah.
Instead of providing assistance with mental health issues, let them try to address it by themselves. They go to drugs to escape the pain. They commit crimes to get the drugs. The drug dealers committing crimes to be able to get the drugs and sell the drugs to the drug addict who's committing crimes to get his drugs. All of that ties together.
Yep.
This country has to have its priorities together. Otherwise, 1 out of 6. And here I got 1.5 out of 8. People come up to me, where do you get all those drug addicts from on your show? Oh, those people.
Those people. I heard that too.
I get it from your family, from your church, from your neighborhood. Because you look those three places and you're going to find some drug addicts. Among all those associations, you bet there's some dope fiends in there. So don't ask me where we got them. Got them from your family. All right, ma'am, I'm sorry, but we got on a subject that's so beneficial. But tell me about the loan you're suing for.
Well, she lives across the street from me, and then another lady bought a house next to her. One day, Miss Caroline sees me outside and said, hi. So I said, hi, and okay, so became friends. And I told her, hey, by any chance, anybody have tried to come and sell you a tablet? And she said, what do you mean a tablet? I said, my tablet disappeared. I mean, it's so weird, but then I did not realize that I was leaving my front door open and going to the back of the house, and it's big, so I learned how to close my doors. Anyways, she says, no, I haven't. And then we became friends, and she opened a beauty shop, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But COVID hit, and she needed help, and I was able to help her at the time. So I lent her the money, $200, so she could continue pushing it forward and see if we could get through this COVID, but it didn't happen. And then the 90 days passed, and I understand about the COVID and all this, but hey, I still got to survive.
Ma'am, tell me what happened. Was your business harmed by the COVID
Yes, sir,
pandemic?
it was.
Did you apply for the business assistance?
Yes, sir, I did. And I was
Did you get
denied it because it was a new business. I was denied it because it was a new business.
All right, I guess all these people that got money who didn't have established businesses that showed evidence through a history of banking that it was legitimate. I don't know how all of them got it, because people got millions of dollars fraudulently. I
don't know why.
Got somebody called me and told me they got $45,000 and on a new business.
Well, I had it was a new business. I didn't
know,
open
and
it.
when you applied, they rejected you.
Yes, sir.
So I don't know what these other people may be lying. Before you reject somebody, you check their records at least. They got the income tax. That's what they were sending the money based on, the income tax filing. So with your business, when you applied, they should have looked and said, okay, it's a new business, but it is operational. I mean, how much success did you have to have? How much success? How long do I need to be in business? 10 days, 1 year, 3 years. Say I was in business 30 days, and before COVID, they were lined around the corner every day. And my business was shooting up every day. And I was making super profits every day. And now that COVID, just because I haven't been making super profits for 10 years, you're not going to give me one? Most people don't make super profits at all. Particularly, you don't make a profit in the first 3 years of a business. Nonetheless, I'm sorry to hear that. Your name is heroin, isn't it?
Terrible.
Isn't that what you say your name is?
No, my name's Carolyn.
Oh, Carolyn! Oh, okay. I thought you used so much heroin they changed your name to it.
Oh,
I'm sorry, man. Okay.
I've never done heroin now. I smoked weed back in the day, but I never done heroin.
Defendant Carolyn Oliver is being sued by her friend, who claims she became a heroin addict after her 9-year-old son passed away.
Did you borrow $2,000 and agree to repay?
Yes, sir, Your Honor, I did. I borrowed the money from Miss Luce, Miss Dolly. I call her Dolly. And the agreement was that when the business started making money, that I would start paying it back. Well, COVID hit. I was forced to shut my business down. I reopened it in May. It just didn't do nothing. So I don't feel like I owe her anything.
If it had done well, what would she have gotten?
She would have gotten her money back.
And that's it?
Yeah.
So the connection between performance of a business and repayment of monies put into the business is called an investment, not a loan. You're describing an investment, and that's not what we are saying she's saying this is a straight up loan. So whether you make money or not, whether your business goes out of business or not, that's not relevant to her. She's not an investor in your business. She doesn't lose when you lose because hers is a loan. So she had every expectation to get her money back. And her saying, when you make a profit or when you get back on your feet, that essentially means within a reasonable amount of time. That doesn't mean forever, and it certainly doesn't mean I never have to pay you again because I never got on my feet. That's a good saying. I wish I could go to the bank and say that. You think the bank? What do you think the bank would have said? You went up there and said, I need to borrow some money. And they said, we ain't gonna pay it back, ma'am, when I get on my feet. You think the bank? Bank's not gonna do that. So it was repay within a reasonable amount of time. That's how that is interpreted by courts when the debtor tells the person they owe that I'm going to pay you when I can, or I'm going to pay you when I get the money, or I'm going to pay you when my income tax comes. All that means is within a reasonable amount of time, because if those things never come, you still got to pay the person their money back, wherever you get it from. So 2000 is your judgment. I'm so proud of you ladies coming in here and bringing some insight to our viewers. So judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I love you over everything, but even though I still gonna need my money, sister.
Yeah, but at least you knew it was an investment too.
You know it was not an investment. I told you 90 days, so don't go there.
No, we're not going
It's over.
this.
You won. I won. You won. Love you.
I love you too.
It's over. We're under the bridge.
Plaintiff Leanne Cornelius is a baker, and a year ago she retired and bought a food truck to pursue her passion. Leanne claims she hired the defendant to do a vinyl wrap on her food truck, but he never completed the job and instead vandalized her vehicle, so she's suing. Defendant Alexander Thomas says he is one of the best in the business, and the reason he never completed Leanne's job is because she failed to pay for his services. He's countersuing for unpaid wages.
Start with you, ma'am.
I'm a baker, a cake decorator, and I've been doing this most of my life. My grandmother, she got me into this business. All of the women in my family, we just do this type of thing. My father, he was a cook too. Okay. So about a year ago, I retired from my job. And my father, he's been retired for years. And I just decided to buy him a food truck. Okay, I purchased the food truck, and a few days after my purchase, my father passed.
Sorry to hear.
So, thank you. So I knew I just had to get this truck going. A family member of mine referred Mr. Thomas to me, and I gave Mr. Thomas a call about wrapping my food truck. And he went in details of what he had to do with the truck. And he told me the price was going to be $4,200. And he was going to remove the old wrap and logo off of the truck and put the new wrap and my logo on the truck. But first he told me that I had to talk and meet with an artist to design a logo and a graphic for the truck. Once the logo and the graphic was designed, I got back in touch with Mr. Alex, and that was around July the 2nd. At that time, Mr. Thomas requested that I pay him a deposit, which was half of the price, and it was $2,100. Once I made that payment, Mr. Thomas told me that the start date on my truck would be the 5th of July, right after the holiday. I called Mr. Thomas on the 5th and the 6th of July, and at that time, he was just giving me excuses of why he was unable to start on my truck. I didn't talk to him again until maybe July the 26th. And my father, he's been retired for years. And I just decided to buy him a food truck. Okay, I purchased the food truck, and a few days after my purchase, my father passed.
Sorry to hear.
So, thank you. So I knew I just had to get this truck going.
Defendant Alexander Thomas was hired to put a vinyl wrap on the plaintiff's food truck, but she claims Alexander never completed the job and instead vandalized her vehicle.
And how many times did you call him between July 2nd and July 26th?
I called him 3 times, but I texted him several times.
Okay. Do you know if that was weekly? Because that's 24 days. And so
Right.
I'm sure you were a little more aggressive within 24 days.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
Everyone knew that I was having a baby and we were going to be taking off for approximately 8 weeks. She knew that. I knew that. The reason why she didn't get a hold of me is because she didn't have any licensing for the truck. When I told her I was going to be off for a while, she said, that's totally fine. I'm swamped with work. I still haven't got the licensing for the truck or the insurance, and it was no rush.
Okay. So you knew beforehand, he says, that he wasn't going to be available.
No, sir. Mr. Alex talked to me about a baby on July the 2nd when he requested me to pay
Correct.
$2,000. Right, but he was telling me that he was going to get started on my truck ASAP because he had another gentleman that he was supposed to do work for. But if I sent him my money on the 2nd, he would get started on my truck on the 5th.
So what was the baby discussion about then?
He talked about his baby all the time, but he never told me that the baby would interrupt him wrapping my truck,
That's
or
what
I
I'm
would have
asking.
went to someone
All right,
else.
he never did that. And did he ever answer any of your texts?
Yes, he answered a couple of my texts. Yes,
Okay,
sir,
hold on. Do any of them discuss why he could not get started?
July the 2nd, 2021, Mr. Alex texted me at 1:01 a.m. and said he can't stress his schedule enough, and I want to block off your dates for you. And I texted him back on July the 2nd at 12:48 p.m. and asked him, are you changing the dates? He texts back that same day at 12:21 and say, no, I'm trying to lock you in. Have a gentleman ask him, but I want to speak with you first.
May I object here, sir?
Yeah.
The reason why this text, she's not letting you know that prior to this, and the reason why I'm saying I have to block you off is because she hadn't given me deposit whatsoever yet at this time. She didn't give me deposit, so of course I'm telling her, I'm stressing. Hey, listen, Leanne, I'm taking off, so that means a lot of my customers are going to get in line. That means I'm a very busy man. I'm one of the highest installers in the world right now. I'm super sought after. The reason why she used
you and Trump. Gotcha.
Superlative.
Ma'am, I got you, sir. You're the biggest. You're big. You're real big. Super big. Ooh, wow, my goodness. What a privilege to have you here. Stand up. Thank you so much. Give him a bow.
Not even
the greatest ever do it. The greatest that ever do it. Okay, we got that point. Now, if I can get back to you, ma'am. July 2nd.
That was great.
Yes, sir.
The next date I see is July 26th. Do you have any attempted communication you could show me between July 2 and July 26th? I know you say he wasn't responding to you, but you say you were texting him. So do you have a copy of any of those texts that he wasn't responding to?
No, I do not, Your Honor.
The reason I'm asking is because he says that you knew ahead of time that he wasn't going to be able to do the work because he had a baby coming. Because your text pretty much goes along with his defense. July 2nd, don't contact me for a minute because I'm having a child. Okay, I'll contact you 24 days later. That sounds about right. So that's why I need you to show me where you contacted him after July 2nd. You have 0 to show me you contacted him after July 2nd. Do you have anything after July 2nd and before July 26th? Any evidence, anywhere?
No.
Okay. And when you did catch him, what did he say?
On August the 10th, Alex went to the parking lot where my truck is, and he removed the wrap that was on my truck. He removed the wrap, and he told me that it was an issue under the wrap under the truck, and it would be another price. And I told him that was okay. The price wasn't an issue for me. And when I went to the lot, I saw that Mr. Thomas had wrote a message on my truck, drew a devil face on my truck, and then he wrote his name on my truck.
When did he do this? What you referring to, vandalizing your truck?
Can I write? Can I have an objection, sir?
Hold on, no, 1 second. When did this happen, man?
The vandalism of the truck had to happen between August the 16th and September the 10th.
Defendant Alexander Thomas was hired to put a vinyl wrap on the plaintiff's food truck, but she claims Alexander never completed the job and instead vandalized her vehicle.
Go ahead, I'll let you respond now.
Okay. The writing on the truck definitely was done by me. It wasn't even vandalism. The writing on the truck was on top of another material, which we put on the truck to even the surface of the vehicle out. With that said, the writing on the truck was a plan that I had for some water boys in the city so I can teach them, some underage kids that are selling water. I wanted to write it down. I took a picture. This was going to be covered by her actual graphic.
Sir, what do you want to tell me happened? She wants her $2,900 back. What happened with the job?
So let's start by saying I am Alexander Thomas. I started off on the wrong path of my life, and I was lucky enough to own my own business. Now, I've been in a little bit of trouble, and I got lucky enough that one of my friends in high school was starting a business when I was able to get out of trouble. I spent about 2 years in jail throughout collectively, and then, like I said, I got lucky enough to jump into this business. Moving forward, Leanne found me through a relative of hers. Leanne chose me because her relative knows that, again, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I am very good. I am super professional. I'm one of the only Black certified, 3M certified installers in the United States. There's probably about 50 of us out of a whole world of people, and I'm one of them. So Leanne got in touch with me. She told me about her job. I gave her a quote. Around July 2nd, I do believe, she sent me a deposit. On page number 2 here, if you look through my evidence, sir, I have the invoice here. This invoice is dated for July 26th. What went wrong is Leanne didn't have any licensing for her truck. We told her to bring the truck to our facility. She couldn't move her vehicle. She told me that, I don't have any licensing for the truck, any insurance. We spoke over the phone. I said, hey, you know what? No problem. You were patient enough to wait for me with the baby. I'll go over there, check out the situation. We get over to the truck. It still has the previous wrap on it. I tell Leanne, hey, listen, Leanne, before we start anything like this, I want you to know that the removal on this thing is anywhere from $700 up and upwards to $1,500, depending on how aggressive the film is, depending on what could go wrong, where we're at, so on and so forth.
Did he tell you that, ma'am?
Yes, he mentioned removing the wrap, and once he started, he mentioned that it was some pile up of glue on the wrap, and that it needed to be pressure washed with a heated pressure washer. Mm-hmm. Mr. Thomas told me that the pressure washer would be $500. Okay. He also asked me
I told you on our text that the removal was
Hold
anywhere.
on, sir. Go ahead. What are you saying? What else?
He also told me that he wanted me to send him the $500, and I told him no, I wasn't going to send it to him. I was sending it straight.
Okay.
To the
Did he
that was
discuss
going
the
to work.
removal of the wrap?
He had removed the wrap. It was just the top part that wouldn't come off. And that's when he was telling me about the glue that was holding it down. He didn't know.
Hold on. So he removed some of the wrap?
Yes, sir.
I
He
removed all the
did.
wrap.
Sir?
I removed all the wrap off that truck. I removed all of but maybe 10% of that truck surface, which is 450 square feet. Only reason why I didn't remove this thing is because Miss Leanne stopped wanting to pay me.
Why didn't you pay him, ma'am?
Because he didn't do anything else after that. Well, I wrote on the side of my truck. So he didn't do anything.
Did you tell him did you tell him you didn't want him to move further with it anymore?
Of course, because he wasn't doing anything. And then we were going into
Hold on.
you said
He
you
wasn't
tell him
doing
to do that.
anything in terms of any work?
nothing. He wasn't even going back to the lot. Mr. Thompson,
Okay.
Mr. Thomas never.
And do you
even-
have anything where you text him and made mention of what you're telling me again?
No.
So you have
I
nothing
had
to
to-
back up anything that you keep saying. So I'm not sure what you're going to expect from me if you have zero to back up, and he does.
Defendant Alexander Thomas was hired to put a vinyl wrap on the plaintiff's food truck, but she claims Alexander never completed the job and instead vandalized her vehicle.
What else do you want to point out to me, sir?
Okay, I removed the wrap, and now the surface of the truck happens to be a Doritos truck. So I tell her, hey, Miss Cornelius, let me explain to you how this industry works. I do not want to install this wrap if it's going to look bad. I'd like for you to come over to the location so you can absolutely see what I mean, so you don't think that I'm trying to get over on you, so you don't think that we're trying to hustle you out of your money, because I'm trying to get the $1,500.
So what did happen?
Miss Leanne comes over to the lot. She looks at the truck. She's super skeptical. I said, okay, listen, what I'm gonna do, instead of us resurfacing this truck, sanding everything down, I'm gonna call this gentleman so he could spray this adhesive off. He sprayed the adhesive, it wouldn't come off. She was informed of that. She told me, you're hustling me over my money. I'm not gonna give you anything anymore. She said, what can we do to get this finished? I said, I got another alternative for you. I will put a thicker material over the surface of this truck, and it will kind of get rid of some of the grooves.
What did she say to that? What did she say to
said,
that?
go ahead and do it. And I told her, listen.
Hold on, ma'am. Is that you told him to go ahead and do it to get the thicker?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And this was when?
This was we were still in August at this time.
Go ahead. I'll let you respond now.
Okay. On August 18th, I said, I'm going to check on the truck today. It's on page 18. I'm going to check on the truck. And as you can see here, now underneath on August 20th, I sent her a picture of the material that I laid down out of the kindness of my heart. I laid this down. I didn't even charge her because I'm trying to get the money for the removal. I said, yo, I got some extra material. Let's make it work. Because her niece then was jamming me online. She has 450,000 followers. She's jamming me online. Alex is taking advantage of my aunt.
When she asked for her money back, what have you told her?
Okay, when Leanne asked me for her money back, she said, okay, I asked her, I said, hey, listen, we need to receive some of this deposit now. So she's like, this is taking too long. It was raining outside. I can't install in the rain. The adhesive gets wet and it's all over. So I'm telling her, it's raining. I'm catering to you. You got to wait till the rain's over and the vehicle dries, or else it's going to look like crap. She said, all right. She gets mad about that. So now she's talking about, oh, I want the money back. I said, listen, Leanne, this job is non-refundable because we have already worked, printed your graphics. We've already did a removal on the truck. We've already done all the preparation for this vehicle. And on your invoice, I make it clear before we ever engage in any other money that this engagement, when you give me the money, is non-refundable, being I cannot give your graphics back once you start using them. The manufacturer will not take it back. So therefore, if I'm stuck with your graphics, then you either have to take them or you have to pay for them one way or another.
What'd she say?
She said, I'm not giving you no more money. You're trying to work me, this, that, and the third. I said, you saw your truck.
Let me ask you, the money she wanted back was the deposit that had already been used?
Yes.
To buy the signage?
Material.
Okay.
Defendant Alexander Thomas was hired to put a vinyl wrap on the plaintiff's food truck, but she claims Alexander never completed the job and instead vandalized her vehicle.
Who gave up on working together?
Leanne, because I wanted to still get the truck. I wanted the rest of my money. So why wouldn't I want to finish the job? Even though she's being rude, I know that everybody wants the deals, but listen, nobody wants to pay the right price.
Ma'am, did he tell you that the materials had already been paid for? And you know he would have to purchase it from a third party.
If you look on page 3, and I apologize, but it is in September, down at the bottom, Mr. Thomas is trying to offer me my money back. Because he knew we did have some rainy days. He never told me to bring my truck to the shop. He said he would do the work on the lot. He came to the lot to do the work.
Read to me. Read. Let's deal with your text. You finally seem to have a text that might be relevant. So read to me where it says he was going to give you ask if you wanted your money back. I didn't see that.
I didn't put you on the back burner. I have quality and integrity to uphold. And some customers are cheap and will never listen to nobody based on the past experience.
Exactly.
I don't still let, I'm assuming he's saying Leanne said
I'll give you your bread back because you don't want to do the job my way. All right. Sir?
Yeah, that was now when I told her I would give her money back was when it was raining before we ever did a removal, because I said, hey, listen, it's raining here. You want to bring this truck to the facility? She said, no. I said, well, listen, before we do any prints, are you sure I could give your money back? At that time, she didn't have anybody else to wrap the truck. She didn't have anybody else to produce graphics.
What are the unpaid wages for, sir?
The material and printing.
You already have that from the deposit.
Okay, yeah, but the material and print was $3,200. But also the unpaid wages on that is this. Whenever we do the install, I charge for the install after all the wrap is done. Then the $1,500 for the removal and of the wrap that I told her, hey, listen, this wrap removal costs $1,500. She said,
well, sir, I just got to tell you, I knew when you came in here talking big today, it was going to backfire on you. So I want you to stay big. You can't be big and small at the same time. You're the biggest in the world. You're the best in the world. So just like you told her, big man, pay her all her money back, big man. That's what you said in the text. I give you your little bread back. I'm big. I'm the best in the world. Don't you remember? Give her money back like you said, big man. Judgment for the plaintiff. Yours is dismissed, big man. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor. I never was rude to Alex. I never told him anything other than let me know what I need to do to help this progress go along. I never was rude to you, Alex.
She didn't want to pay for the service that was going to be done. And I mean, I did extra work on the job. She didn't want to pay for it. We got in an argument about it, and she didn't want to move forward with the job.